Hi, today you're gonna learn about magic estimation in a remote setup. Yeah, welcome to Skills for Teams, and today I prepared a little video about magic estimation and how to perform it in a remote setup. If you know me and ever spoke to me about estimation, you might know I'm not a great fan of estimations at all. Sometimes I like the no estimation movements, but sometimes estimations are also useful, especially if you want to make decisions up on if you want to do something or not. And for that reason, sometimes you need to know how big a story is so you can decide. And if you also have value for stories, you can decide highest value, least effort first. So if you have a story with a very high value and you estimate it not that complicated, and you have a story which is very complicated and you don't have a very high value, well, of course you do the less complicated story with more value. So what is magic estimation? It is an estimation mechanism, and it is used in Agile, for Scrum, but it can be used for estimating everything, like we will see in our example. It is used to compare items or maybe stories to each other. So the key of magic estimation is that you compare the items you have to each other, and you will have the biggest and the smallest after the estimation. It is powerful if you have a limited amount of items. If you have unlimited amount, it's harder to sort it. If you have limited amount, it's very useful, very good overview. It's the least bureaucratic estimation mechanism in my opinion, and it is good for ordering items by size. Especially it is good if the team does not have an indicator which size before. By the comparison, it will find itself an indicator. You can use different rating mechanisms. If you use magic estimation to estimate the effort or the complexity of stories, of items, of any kind of work, you need to do. You can use it for epics, you can use it for user stories, you can use it on feature size. That doesn't matter, the method stays the same. So what can you do? You can use the Fibonacci numbers, which are very popular at planning poker. You can use it with t-shirt size, and you can use it with any other mechanism. Well, Agilists don't estimate in hours or days, but you can do it. You can estimate in code lines if you want to do it, or you can estimate in tomatoes. As you know, tomato is like a technique of an hour undisturbed work, which is promoted by Uncle Bob. There are different modes to run it. So some things are run in no discussion, silent mode. Sometimes you read the story, sometimes you want a discussion, or at least at a certain point you want a discussion. I will explain you how magic estimation works, and actually it's also usable to use it with knowledge. For example, we got I didn't draw 3 people now, but we can have 3 smileys. It's very useful. I use Miro Board at the moment, and for this exercise, how I do it in a remote setup, you use the you have the cards, the items you want to estimate, as icons, as images on this Miro board. You can also have post-its on the Miro board, and you could also use other software. I will talk a bit later about it. So imagine you got some 3 estimators for this one. Let's put a smiley here. Oh, this one gets a Windows sign. So let's say we have 3 developers one of them likes Android, the other one likes Apple, the next one likes Windows. I'm sorry about the one who likes Windows, but as you see, I got Windows on my operating system. So what happens now? We have an estimation and we want to estimate which item takes a great effort. In my example, I decided it's good to estimate how long bridges are. And here I get some bridges, and some of them you might know, for example, the Golden Gate Bridge. And let's say the first one comes and is allowed to make an estimation. And then by rules, he says the Golden Gate Bridge is somewhere in the middle. So now, imagine this developer has done his job. Next one can come and make another estimation, and he sees the bridge, and maybe this one, this is the Öresund Bridge between Sweden and Denmark, and he places it as the end. Okay, now comes the next developer, and original rule is not talking through this phase unless there is a conflict. And actually not talking makes it a lot more efficient. If you start talking at this point, if you start discussions here, it is like quite more time consuming. So when does it come to a discussion is when people get on a board. So next one comes Android guy again, and he places the Brooklyn Bridge somewhere there, and next one comes the Apple guy. He could even say like this bridge maybe here. It's a bridge over the Bosporus, by the way. Then the next one comes, and he can also pick a new card or decide to change something. And maybe he says, oh, this Bosporus bridge is smaller, shorter than the Golden Gate Bridge. Well, now maybe the next one can change it back, and that would be a point where discussion needs to start. But let's play the game forward. The next one comes and places a Great Belt Bridge. Make it a bit smaller. And well, next developer can come and say, oh, okay, I think this one are the wrong path around. It needs to be that path. Then they can have a discussion about it. At these bridges, the easiest way is to research on Wikipedia, and I know the result, but let's place it that way. Here we have another one. It is a bridge from Japan. I don't even know the name. So if the next one comes, he can place it and say, okay, maybe it's longer than Golden Gate, shorter than Öresund Bridge. And now everything is placed, and people would still be allowed to change something. So I would ask the Android guy, hey Android guy, do you want to change something? And he says, yeah, I want to change Storebelt and Öresund Bridge, because I think this is between two countries and this is inside one country, and that's why it must be more far. Well, that is something. Maybe the others disagree now, they agree, they discuss a bit more, but it will change as long as everybody is along consent with this order. And the good thing is, well, this is an estimation. In this case we can control it because the bridges are already built, but in case of stories it would be an estimation from a future thing, and we would just have an order which just comes out. If you use the numbers here, it might also be allowed to place some things. It's the same item, so maybe this both are just as bridges. That would be okay too. Of course, if you place anything with the same length or same effort, well, maybe your stories are just optimal sliced, or maybe you do something wrong. So you can use this mechanism, and it's a bit like a game. First you have the no discussion part. You don't want early discussions. But then you come with a discussion as soon people are not having the same idea, cannot get consent. And that's actually what you want. If something is consent, you don't want a discussion about it, because if everybody has the same meaning, why to discuss long on it? If people disagree, that is what you want to have. You want to have exchange of meaning, you want to have more information about it, and you want to make a better decision. So this is very effective, effective manner of estimating. I like this one. It's less bureaucracy, it's a bit more fun. You have to attach to the rules, and one thing you can do more is a bit introduction. It's the first time somebody picks a story, maybe reading it loud, maybe reading the description, ask for questions. That's something you could do. It's optional, so there's no really strict rules on magic estimation, but it helps you. Yeah, so far that game, and I want to show you if we are right now and maybe look at the bridges, and we finally did it right. This one is called, I brought everything out, Brooklyn Bridge, is 1,800 meter or 6,000 feet. The Yavuz Sultan Selim Bridge, it's 2,100. The Golden Gate Bridge is 2,700. The Akashi Kayeko Bridge, it's one of the longest bridges in Japan, is more. And here we have it with 6,790 meters to 7,845. So this is right. If you want to introduce magic estimation, you can have something like this in a little game, or maybe which car is older, which car is more expensive, which city has more citizens, just to get people used to the mechanism and they can exercise on it, and then you come on with a real exercise in magic estimation. It's a nice game if you want to introduce it, and it's always a nice icebreaker. I put a bit more links about magic estimation if you want to do it with Jira. There are different ways. There is a plugin called Magic Estimations in the Jira Marketplace. You can use it. You can just use it to order the top backlog items, but this is a bit risky because they should be ordered by value. There are options to use Zapier and Jira. There are options to use Azure DevOps and Miro, described in this article, which is linked, and I will put the links also to the video description so you can find it. You can build yourself something with the Jira export function and import it to Miro Board. You can also print it out and cut it out, or in this case make a screenshot and copy and paste it over to the Miro Board, which is possible. If you do it more frequently, I would invest more time in a solution. If you do it first time, maybe it's enough with this print and copy or screenshot and copy solution. So that was magic estimation, a real powerful method to estimate stories, especially if you want to compare them together. The greatest benefit for me is if the teams don't have a comparison for what is the story point or what is the t-shirt size. With magic estimation, you order them, give them an order, and then you can assign the sizes to that orders list, which makes it easier, and it's very good for the first time of estimation if you introduce it to estimation. I hope it helped you a lot, and please let me know under the comments, how do you estimate your stories? Do you estimate stories at all? Maybe you're also a fan of no estimation, and what is your experience with magic estimation method? Thank you for watching. Follow also my channel, and if you learned something from this video, if you tried it out yourself, let me know.